Hi everyone, my name is Mike Goggin and I'm from Patrick Geospatial Services. Wanted to take a couple of minutes today and chat about the path to utility network. Over the last 4 to 6 months, there's been a lot of conversation around utility network, and that kind of really was spawned from the release of utility network in January of this year, and then additionally Esri's announcement of 10.6.1 and what that means for the utilities in general. So been having a lot of conversations, and there's a bunch of questions out there, and I just thought I would share a little bit today with you, a couple facts, and then just some things that I've thought about or have been thinking about over time. So I think the first place that I would recommend starting is really start to understand more about the utility network, what it is, what it means. I look at it from two different perspectives. One is the features and the functions. What is a subnetwork, containment, and associations? But I think more importantly, I put more value on looking at the business benefits for the organization, right? So what do those feature functions mean? How can they optimize the way your organization leverages the geospatial platform to do day-to-day activities? I'm not going to take a deep dive into utility network today. We'll create a video and or have some conversations if you're interested to learn more about that. We're really going to talk today about just the paths to utility network. I'm going to start with looking at some key dates. So January 2018, July of 2018, June of 2021, and January of 2024. So the utility network extension was released back in January of this year. And I want to say that it is Esri's long game for network management. So this is the next generation of network management beyond the geometric network. So where most of you are today is most likely at ArcGIS 10.2.1. So ArcGIS 10.2.1 is also known as the utility release. So several years ago, Esri got together with their customers and partners and deemed it was necessary to really kind of freeze the utilities at a specific version of ArcGIS to handle things like performance and stability. They've done a great job doing that, so it's been highly successful. As part of Esri's messaging, they've also said that ArcGIS 10.2.1 will be no longer supported after June of 2021. So that means something needs to happen. You need to do something by June of 2021, whether that's going the direction of utility network or potentially going in an upgrade. So earlier this year, Esri announced, the release of 10.6.1 on target, but the difference is that it is going to become the new utility release. So that means it's, they're going to migrate off of 10.2.1, and they're going to try to migrate everyone that wants to stay in the utility release, that doesn't want to go to utility network right away, by June of 2021. So that's a good thing. Esri also included that 10.6.1, the utility release of geometric network and ArcMap, will also be retired and deprecated in January of 2024. So you kind of have a couple of key dates there, right? You've got June of 2021 where you have to do something, either upgrade to 10.6.1, the new utility release, or migrate over to utility network. And then the second key date is January of 2024, where you will have to be at utility network. That would be the supported version of network management at the time. Therefore, ArcMap as well as geometric network will no longer be supported. So those are some key dates. Now let's jump into some of the things that I've been thinking about or I've been hearing, and I think that are kind of applicable to determining or defining your path to the utility network now that we know you will need to be there by January of 2024. These are also observations that folks have shared with me as well. So we'll just go through them. I've kind of divided them up into two sections. One's going to be more upgrade centric, and then one's going to be more migrate centric. So upgrade 10.6.1, migrate utility network. So what version of ArcGIS are you on right now? If you're on 10.2.1, then you're probably sitting pretty good for either option, whether upgrading to 10.6.1 or heading straight over to utility network. If you're in a prior version than 10.2.1, there's always those possibilities that it can be a little bit more complicated. Esri did state that the upgrade from 10.2.1 to 10.6.1 isn't going to be a complicated one, meaning that they didn't change a lot of the underlying technology. It's really more of a simpler upgrade at that from 10.2.1 to 10.6.1. Are you leveraging geometric network? This may or may not be applicable to you, but if you're not leveraging geometric network today, I'm sure you have your reasons, but I would highly encourage you to really look at the utility network and all of the business benefit it's going to be able to bring to your organization. How long does it take you to upgrade? As well as, what do your budgets look like for an upgrade? So why this is pertinent is if it's pretty seamless for you to upgrade from one version to another. For example, if Esri is saying 10.2.1 to 10.6.1 is not going to be a complicated upgrade, and it doesn't take you very long to do upgrades, you don't have a lot of customizations or integrations and stuff like that, then maybe that would help you define an upgrade to meet the 2021 date and then give you a little bit of a runway for utility network. Same with the budget, that's all applicable. So resources, including dollars. Do you use any third-party solutions? So these aren't integrations, these are really solutions that sit right on top of the platform. For example, Schneider's ArcFM or Designer, or something from DNVGL, one of their modeling and or risks software packages. That's just going to make, what do you need to do? Do you need to upgrade all of those solutions as well, to the version of 10.2.1 to 10.6.1? Is it going to be more complicated? Do you still need those third-party solutions? All questions that, you need to be asking yourself. Do you have a lot of customizations? Customizations will increase the complexity of any upgrade or any migration. So you really need to take stake in what you have today. Always look at minimizing or removing customizations when you go from version to version. In this case, you'll be looking at possibly an upgrade, still on ArcMap and Geometric Network, but if you're looking at UN, then it's a completely different software package, right? So your ArcMap versus ArcGIS Pro. So, do you need those customizations? You want to go through them, you want to minimize them or remove them from your workflows. So this list of questions here, really observations, is more centric to the migration to UN. How integrated is your geospatial platform with other business systems? Integration is one of the things that we see that could complicate a migration to utility network because you're really changing out the entire data model underneath. So, to accomplish or to manage and maintain an existing interface, it's going to have to be reworked. It'll have to be looked at. Not so much if you're using Enterprise Service Bus, but if you're using point-to-point integration tactics, then it's going to be a bigger deal. Are you leveraging ArcGIS Pro in any way, shape, or form? This is really just, are you familiar with ArcGIS Pro? There will be a change management task in a migration to utility network because you're taking users off of ArcMap and moving them over to ArcGIS Pro. There's new tools. It's a new look. It's a new feel. It's a good piece of software. It's just different. So you need to take that into account. Data quality. How confident are you in your data quality? With any upgrade, data quality isn't always necessarily a problem. It's in the same geometric network. If there's no data model changes or changes on the software functionality that are impacting it, it could be pretty simple. But when you're moving to a brand new data model and a migration, it could add, and it does add, complexities. We are seeing that data is definitely in play for a migration to utility network. Whether it's, you have corrupt geometries, or whether you just have incomplete data, your domains aren't matching, it can get complicated. Are you confident in your data model? So this is really just, your data model may be 5, 10, 15 years old. You may have, lots of feature classes in there. You may not be leveraging them. Or, one specific scenario is that you once did leverage a feature class and there's data in it. Are you going to migrate that over? So, how tight can you get your data model before you do the data modeling exercises to go from geometric network over to utility network? It's we have seen some issues related to that in some of the customers we've been working with. How long does it take your organization to secure funding for large projects? Utility network is a large project. So, to create business cases, to secure projects of funding, to get your project into the 3 or 5 year financial plan, that might be hard. And it's also going to be a little trickier if you go into a multi-step, meaning you upgrade first and then go to utility network. You're talking about several projects that will potentially run in serial, and your management may scratch their head a little bit as to why you're doing that second project. So just an awareness there. It's a large project, and you'll need plenty of time, especially for the business case, defining the value. Do you have any large projects planned for your platform? This is important because what we're observing is, the Esri platform within utilities is leveraged quite a bit all over. And, there's a roadmap to enable your business. Some organizations have roadmaps and others don't. When you do have a roadmap and you do have projects in there, you really need to figure out and look at, well, how does utility network fit into that? Again, it's a large project. You're changing out the entire data model, and it's going to be complicated. So what is it going to impact, or what are those projects going to impact the UN and your strategy? So, you really need to look at everything you have on the table now so that you can add utility network in and or the upgrade or both into your roadmap. That's going to be important, an important thing for you to do. So a couple messages in here, and this is the last one, and that is that all paths lead to the utility network. It is the Esri long game for network management. Again, it's not if, it's when. So you really just need to start taking into account what it's going to take, understand what utility network is, look at your options so that you can help define your path. And that's going to be important. You might seem like you have quite a bit of time to make your decisions, but as we learned in the key dates, you have to do something by 2021, and then you're going to have to finally be at utility network by 2024. So it's 5 years, but it's going to go by pretty quickly, especially when you start to look at your roadmap. Do things need to be moved around? You're looking at your 3 to 5 year financial calendar. Does a large project like a UN fit into there somehow? So there's just a lot of questions that are still out there that you'll just need to really kind of get your hands around to understand it. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in today and listening, and I would love to hear from you if you have any feedback, if you have more questions. This is definitely a transformational time within the Esri environment. They've done a lot of great things with ArcGIS. This one is definitely, the utility network is definitely, for me, the most exciting transformation I've seen. Network management, Esri is going to understand how to manage networks. It's going to be pretty exciting for everyone. So I appreciate your time. Have yourself a great day.